1943, Douglas Company. Douglas Company Vice President of Engineering, Rob Krenko, stood near a drafting board as he met with design engineer John Hall at his office at the Douglas El Segundo plant. John, take a look at my sketch here. Oh, it looks like a C-54 military transport. Right, we're going to design the first presidential aircraft by modifying a C-54. Why would the Douglas president need a plane that large, Rob? Not the Douglas president, the president of the United States. You mean Franklin Roosevelt? Yes, we're designing a plane for FDR. That's pretty exciting, damn exciting. Let me show you some of the requirements. I've sketched some rough ideas. Pointing to the sketch, Rob continued. Now here's the president's office, and over there would be the kitchen and dining area. Back here would be the sleeping quarters. Behind there would be seats for staff and the press. Just one issue I haven't worked out yet. What's that? Well, John, we need an elevator. An elevator? What for? To get FDR in his wheelchair up into the cabin. Wow, isn't there any way to get him up the external stairway? He'd have to be carried. And we were told that we couldn't let that be seen. With an elevator, he could be wheeled under the plane and taken up by elevator out of sight. Then an elevator it is. This will be a fun project for my team. Then get started, John. Take my sketches and come out with engineering drawings of the whole interior. Great. We'll get right on it. One question. Do you think I could FDR to autograph one of my drawings? If so, only after he autographs my sketch, said Rob with a smile. The presidential jet went into service in 1944 and was nicknamed the Sacred Cow because of the security surrounding it. FDR only flew in it once, but it was used for a period by President Harry Truman. Yeah. You know, people forget FDR really couldn't walk. He had braces, metal braces. And he always, when he did walk, he always had the arm usually of his son or somebody and walked short distances. And he really was just kind of throwing his body and his legs. So most of the time he was in a wheelchair, but at that time they felt it showed a lack of power if your president was in a wheelchair. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, the press would never photograph him in a wheelchair or being carried. There was just agreements about that. Mm-hmm. So it was quite a sensitive issue. So they went to all this trouble to put an elevator in.
Wow.
Yeah.
And he only flew in it one time?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Now, but you said...
Well, and he died. He died in office.
Yeah.
Although it was his fourth term. And so, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, when was 1946?
He died in 45.
Oh, 45.
In the spring of 45, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and then Truman was
took
sworn
over,
in,
yeah.
Who was his vice president. But then Truman got some use out of the Sacred Cow, at least.
Right. And then Truman had his own plane.
Did he really?
It was a DC-6. He named it the Independence in recognition of his hometown in Missouri.
Okay.
I don't know, have you ever been to the Air Force Museum in Dayton?
No.
That is fascinating place to go. It's free. Mm-hmm. And when we went one afternoon, took our grandson and stayed overnight, and then the next morning kind of broke it up. But you really need a full day. And what it has one hangar now that has 4 presidential planes in them, including the 2 that I mentioned, and then 2 of the later ones. So, and you can go in them. You can go in them all. Yeah, it's neat, but it's a great museum.
So, Sacred Cow, Independence, and then there was another one after that, and then
there were two. Then I think the next one, that was a DC-6, was the Independence. That was still propeller, and then there were 2 jets. One, I think the first one was Kennedy's, mm-hmm. and then there was a later jet that's in the museum, and then of course the current one is a 747 that the current presidents use.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.